Hi, everyone, and welcome back to That's It. Thank you so much for joining this channel. I have to say, I just want to thank everyone, foremost, of the love and support of Irina Zoriska. Hopefully, I'm saying her name correctly because she deserved that. Of a 23-year-old refugee Ukrainian woman, young woman, who got stabbed in the neck in a subway in Carolinas. And she didn't deserve that. She didn't. She was a beautiful young 23-year-old, had her whole life ahead of her, and it got cut short. Her life got cut short, and it's just not fair. She left her country, a battle war, to come to the United States for a better life, a better situation. And what did our country do for her? Nothing. They turned her back. They turned their back away from her. They She didn't get the justice that she needs. Yes, the perpetrator is arrested, but this all could have been prevented because the perpetrator was arrested 14 times. 14 times. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Clearly, if someone's been arrested 14 times, they shouldn't be on the streets. They're a danger to society. But the judge failed her. Our justice system failed her. And we need to do better. We really need to do better because she deserved better. She didn't deserve this. She left and flee her country to come here to have a better life. And she didn't deserve this at all. And my heart goes out to her family, her friends, um, beautiful young woman. And her life got cut way, way too short. So I just want to say thank you for everyone just pouring their love and support and giving their comments in regards to her. I really appreciate it. And I know that she's in a better place now and she's no longer in pain and suffering. So thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to talk about Candace Owens. I know everyone has been talking about it and giving their opinions about what she had said about her friend Charlie Kirk, and as the whole world known that Charlie Kirk was assassinated on Wednesday, and like I said in my previous video, it's just sick, disturbing, sad that the whole world had to see this live in real time. And I don't know about you, but I'm struggling with this because I watched this video and it's something that it can't be unseen in my brain, and I'm still processing this. And I'm, asking the Lord to, give me strength because it's just a very traumatic thing for anyone to watch or to see it in real time. And I'm still processing um, of this. But again, it's not about me. It's about the Kirk family and Mrs. Erica Kirk as well. And I just want to show you, have you take a listen to her statement um, that she made when she went on national television on Friday and told the nation and the whole world um, how she really feels. And I have to say, I commend her. After 2 days of her husband being assassinated, and she just went on live television to put her point, not put her point across, but to give a statement. And this statement is loud and proud. And I want you to take a listen to Mrs. Erica Kirk and what she had to say.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. They should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
Very powerful, Very powerful what she said. And yeah, this woman is wearing the full armor, okay? I just want you to hear me loud and clear. She is wearing the full armor. And I suggest that you listen to her speech in entirety because it broke me, especially when she was talking about their 3-year-old daughter, Gigi. That broke me because I have nieces. And it really broke me what she said. And I advise you to listen to the speech entirety. That's powerful words, okay? That is a woman of God who is not going to let fear stop her, not going to let fear stop her husband's legacy. You heard what she said. Turning Point is going to keep going. The podcast is going to keep going, okay? Because you ended this man of God life. You thought things were going to stop. You think that things were just going to we were just going to accept it because you thought that you won. Think again. Think again, because a lot of Charlie Kirk are up and roaring, loud and proud. You understand? So you thought, meaning the devil thought that the devil won, but you didn't. You lost because we keep fighting the fight. We are running the race, okay? That woman is strong, okay? Because she has the grace of God with her. She has the grace of God with her. And she is wearing the full armor. She's not going to stop. And neither should you, neither should me. This should put a fire on our ass that we should not be afraid of free speech. We should not be afraid to speak our opinion in a public setting. We should not be afraid to keep our mouth shut because we have our own point of view. That's what they wanted to do to Charlie Kirk, and they did. They succeeded. But you know what? He has a whole lot of Charlie Kirk around. So just like Mrs. Erica Kirk said, you thought you were going to stop this? You thought that we were just going to bow down and feel, no, we're not. Yes, we're sad. We're mourning for this man because what happened to him Wednesday was an assassination. It was for him to shut up, to silence him. And no one deserved that, period. I don't care who you are. Doesn't matter if you're red, blue, doesn't matter. That was a human being. That was someone's husband, a father, a friend. And no one doesn't deserve to be assassinated like that, period. Whether you agree there or have differences of their opinions, no one does. And my hearts and prayer goes out to Mrs. Erica Kirk, and I'm going to continue to pray for the entire family because God is with them, and God is not going to forsake them at all. And we all should put our full armors on and keep running the race, whether you're religion or not, and not let fear run over us. Not let fear to open our mouth and speak our truth, whether it's politics, religion, things that you're passionate about. You should speak your mind and be free of doing that and not be ashamed or unapologetic about it. And if your friends cut you off because of that, then they're not your friends. If they can't understand your point of view and your perspective, then they're not your friends. And if they dropped you, oh well, you got to gain more friends that understands your point of view and understands where you're coming from. So, Candace Owens, wow. There's a lot to impact what she had to say in her podcast. And a lot of people are commenting. A lot of people are worried for her life. You know, I'm worried about Candace Owens. I'm worried, what she said. She's saying a lot of things. And I'm thinking to myself, you guys don't understand. Whether you agree with Candace Owens or not, that woman is a God of child, okay? She has a full armor as well. The fear doesn't scare her, period. Okay, so for people to say they're fearful of her, don't be fearful of her, of what she's saying. Pray for her. Pray for her family. You know what I mean? Whether you agree with her political or what she's saying, pray for her. But don't say you're afraid of her. She's not afraid, okay? I keep saying this. We're living in the end days, okay? The end times. Judgment is coming. That's what you should be fearful for, everyone, okay? And I don't know why people are fearful what Candace is saying. She's speaking the truth. She's speaking her truth and her perspective and her opinion. And when you speak the truth, truth wins. Look what happened to Charlie Kirk. He spoke the truth. He spoke about things, and look what happened. Because people are listening to what other rhetoric is saying about Charlie Kirk. He's racist. He's this. He's all these things. When that is so farther from the truth. I have listened to his podcast. I have listened to his speeches, and I have not heard or seen any racist comments in that man's mouth, period. And I don't even have to meet the man, okay? I have not seen it. I have not sensed it at all. What he was doing was just going to campuses and just having a debate with different college students all around the world and get hearing their perspective, they're hearing his perspective, and that's it. I don't even, not even an inkling of a racist thing of him at all. And for people to say that, they're very, they're ludicrous. They're being brainwashed by the media, and they don't do their own fact check. They just go by what people are saying, and that's scary. That is a very, very scary thing, you guys. That based on what people are saying, people just go for their word. Basically, they take their word face value instead of like fact checking everything. Like if someone says something or in their podcast or if they have a commentator, I'm going to fact check everything. I'm not going to take everyone's words face value, especially, same thing with Candace Owens and anybody. I'm going to fact check and do my research. And if everything aligns what the person's saying, then okay, the person is right. Now, I don't agree with half the things that people say, the commentaries or podcasters, but I understand. I respect their opinions. I respect what they say. I may not agree with everything, but I do. Just like we all should, whether you like that person or not. And if you don't like the person and you don't agree with them, then don't watch them. Turn off the TV. Turn off your phone. Move on to something else that you feel that the need that you want to continue watching. I know I'm rambling, but I'm going to get to Candace Owens. So her podcast, very powerful. And like I said, a lot of people were commenting of Candace Owens that she was wrong for saying what she was saying about Charlie Kirk, about the Prime Minister of Israel, Bibi, Yahoo, and stuff that she shouldn't have said because Charlie Kirk hasn't been 6 feet under yet. And I watched her podcast the entirety, and I have a different perspective. Everyone has a different perspective when they hear what she has to say, and I'm gonna let you. I have like snippets of videos of her, but I just want to give you my comments and read to you what's been circling around what Candace Owens has been saying. It says threats were made. Candace Owens claims that Charlie Kirk was blackmailed in a secret Hamptons meeting with billionaire Bill Ackman weeks before his assassination. And that's some serious allegations that, Candace Owens is saying. And she says a lot, which I'm going to let you listen to her own words. But I have to say, people deal with grief differently, okay? And we cannot fault people when people deal with grief differently. Now, a lot of people are saying with Candace, well, the videos and pictures that she showed of her and Charlie Kirk, they're very old photos from 2017, 2018, 2019. There was no current recent photos. And what's your point? What are you getting at? She was friends with the guy for a very long time. They were super close. They traveled. They were into politics and stuff like that. So even though she had old photos or old videos and she had nothing recent, what's your point? I would like to know that answer. What is the point? The woman is grieving that she lost her friend, that she saw her friend being assassinated, okay? Like, have a little bit of compassion. It doesn't even freaking matter if she has old videos. Those are memory or old texts. And you don't know the communication that Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens had closed doors. You know what I mean? We don't know that. We just going by speculations and stuff like that. We don't know that because you don't see recent photos of them. We don't know if they kept in touch. You know what I mean? Sometimes, when you close with someone and you get married, have children, sometimes you don't see each other like you used to. You know what I mean? People go their separate lives. However, there's phones, there's texts, they could have easily, text one another and keep in touch. And I believe that happened. So for people to say, well, they have old photos and da da da, like, get serious, and I just didn't like that. Also, they were like saying that there's so much to address, but I'm going to like take my time because I want to make sure to get this right. So basically, oh, okay, I wrote this. So basically, I was saying between old photos and text messages. Also, they were like saying that the comments that Candace Owens was saying that she she shouldn't have said that. You know what I mean? She should have waited. It was disrespectful. It was not a respect. It was disrespectful to Mrs. Erica Kirk. And I'm like saying to myself, how do you not know that if she didn't reach out to her before she did her podcast? We don't know that. You know what I mean? Everyone is speculating, oh, Candace is wrong for doing that. She had no right to, air, private conversations between her and Charlie Kirk. She had no right to do this and that. How do you not know she didn't get permission first from Erica Kirk? How do you know? We don't know that. Again, we don't know what conversations has transparent privately. You get what I'm saying? So this is an article that I want to read to you guys. It says Charlie Kirk faced pressures from Bill Ackman and Seth Dillon to visit Israel, claims Candace Owens. Candace Owens alleged that Bill Ackman pressured Charlie Kirk to visit Israel during a tense lunch in the Hamptons, which also includes Seth Dillon. Now, and Seth Dillon, he is what does he do? He's an entrepreneur, and he's a CEO of Babylon Bee. I don't know what company that is. I never even heard of Seth Dillon before, to be honest with you. But with Bill Ackman, he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire. He has money, okay? Money. Was it? And then Owens claims that threats were made, and Kirk was reconsidering his stance on Israel and was offered a large sum of money before his death on September 10th. Now, that's some huge accusation that Candace Owens is claiming in regards to these two gentlemen. Now, the conservative influencer and podcaster Candace Owens has alleged that the billionaire hedge fund manager and Bill Ackman pressured Charlie Kirk to visit Israel just 2 weeks before Kirk's tragic death on September 10th. Owens revealed that Ackerman and Kirk and Seth Dillon, the CEO of Babylon Bee, share an intense lunch meeting in the Hamptons. That's what I read. And according to Candace Owens, when Charlie Kirk left that lunch meeting, according to Candace Owens, that Charlie Kirk felt that he was being blackmailed. So basically, what Candace Owens is saying that if Charlie Kirk did not apply, but what's the word? Basically, agree of the Israel, what's going on in the war, that it was going to pull funds in his turning point, that people were going to stop funding him and stuff like that. And according to Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk did not take the money. He did not go to Israel. He declined going to Israel as well. Maybe he had a different stance on Israel and what's been happening, because according to Candace Owens, she's saying that Charlie Kirk had a change of heart in the tactics of Israel was using in America. That's what Candace Owens is saying. Now, whether it's true or not, I'm not 100% sure. Again, we don't know the conversations between Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens behind the scenes. Maybe Charlie Kirk said some stuff to Candace Owens. You know what I mean? And now she's releasing some information. Obviously, Charlie Kirk probably told his wife, because they're very super close, and just me seeing, videos and pictures of them, that they were very close, and they tell each other everything, that they don't keep anything from each other. They don't keep any secrets. Now, is it possible that Charlie Kirk told Candace Owens some stuff? It's possible. And for people to say, well, she had no right doing that. She had no respect for the dead. He hasn't been buried yet. She's disrespectful to the wife by, making all these claims and accusations. First of all, she even said in her words, she's not saying that Israel assassinate Charlie Kirk. She even said she has no proof of it. She's not saying that. But she's saying that what happened and what transparent in the Hamptons, it doesn't seem right. Basically, the people, those two gentlemen, now they're saying their gratitude, they're saying all these nice words, and Candace Owens saying that you're fake. You're fake and phony because you were trying to blackmail my friend, and now you giving a speech and giving a statement on your social platform that you love Charlie Kirk, he was a good man, blah, blah, blah. So that was the rage of Candace Owens. She was pissed off because she felt, and I don't want to put words in her mouth, but the impression that I was reading during her podcast that they really didn't like Charlie Kirk because they were trying to blackmail him for him to basically pick a side and agree to things that's happening in Israel. And again, according to Candace Owens, that Charlie Kirk had a different stance about that. He was getting he was getting a different reservation about it. So that's why he declined to go to Israel. That's why he declined the money, because once you get that money from the government, they own you. And Charlie Kirk knew that. And that's why his company and Turning Point was just all funded. It was not based by the government or anyone else, which is good. It should be like that, because once the government has a hold on your business and your money, they got you. And Charlie Kirk knew that. Okay? Now, continue on. Like, Owens claims that during this meeting, threats were made as part of a high-pressure intervention, involving Ackman. She further suggested that Kirk was expecting to change of heart regarding Israel and had been contacted by the Prime Minister Benjamin and Bibi Netanyahu. Then she also said that I know that Charlie was offered a significant amount of money during that time, a ton of money. And Owen stated, and like I said, he declined it, and he declined going to Israel, and that's good. He probably prayed about it with his wife and had a discussion with his wife, and he said that's not a great idea to go to Israel. And I'm not going to make any speculation, but God had Charlie Kirk, and God probably told him, no, don't even go. Don't even go. And this is, and he didn't go. Also, she also mentioned she reached out to Dylan for comments on the story, but he declined. So I think, now this is what Candace Owens saying. She thinks that it's very suspicious that he's not responding to her text messages, that he's not reaching back to her, and and again, I just don't want to put words in her mouth, but you're going to listen to the stuff that she says, that basically why he's not responding to her. And I feel like maybe he just don't have nothing to say right now because Charlie Kirk hasn't been buried yet. Maybe he just wants to wait before he even says anything. But, Candace Owens said, you can use my platform. I'm giving you my platform for you to tell your side of the story. And basically what Candace Owens is saying, that people are lying. People are lying. People are trying to say certain things about Charlie when he's not even here to defend himself and to say in his own words. That's what she's saying, and that's what she's very pissed off about, because they're saying certain things that she didn't like. And again, a lot of people handle grief differently. And Candace Owens, she's on fire, and she is not messing around. She is not. Before I show you the video, guys, Bill Ackman made a statement on his ex Twitter, and I'm going to read to you what he said in the response, what Candace Owens said about him. Let's see. Okay, this afternoon on Candace Owens slandered me by accusing me of staging an intervention with Charlie Kirk, which threats were made with respect to his support involving stance on Israel. And at the event I host in the Hamptons, Candace also admitted that I blackmailed Charlie on the show. Candace said that she would be very happy for me to dispute this narrative. While it's paying me to drive more traffic to her program, I am responding here to clear my name. It has saddened me that we live in a society where social media influencers seek to monetize the tragic death of Charlie Kirk. For the record, at no time have I ever threatened Charlie Kirk, Turning Point, or any associates with him. I have never blackmailed anyone, let alone Charlie Kirk. I have never offered Charlie or the Turning Point any money in an attempt to influence Charlie's opinions on anything. In fact, my interaction with Charlie Kirk had been extremely cordial. Respectfully, so I respectfully as I very impressed by him and his work, I will sadly never see him again. Then he continues on. I connected with Charlie when he D, DM'd me in the late May of this year and expressed interest of meeting me. In the light of our respective schedules, we were unable to find a time to meet in person, so we can schedule a Zoom on June 11th. And then you can read the rest of the entirety. Well, he made a statement, Bill Ackman, and he's saying that it's farther from the truth. Now, there's three sides to every story. There's Candace, there's Bill Ackman, and there's God. And at the end of the day, God will seek the truth. You know, he will seek the truth. I'm not saying Candace Owens is lying. I don't even know Bill Ackman from a hole on the wall. All I know, he is a billionaire, and that's it. That's all I know. And as far as what's the guy's name? Apollo. Tell me. Apollo's, my sidekick. Not sidekick, but my partner in crime. Seth Dillon. I don't know his involvement, but clearly Candace Owens knows more, and she's ready to release some more information. She's ready to drop names, okay? Drop names if they don't back the F up. That's Candace's words. I'm just paraphrasing here. Candace warning these people, back off, because you don't want a war with me. And you do not want a war with Candace. Whether you agree with her or not, whether you feel like she's an extremist, she went to the deep end. A lot of people are saying that she's trying to go in a rabbit hole, this whole conspiracy. Listen, I don't deal with conspiracies, and I sure don't deal with rabbit holes. And neither does Candace. But I have to say, everyone doubted her with COVID. Everyone said all these crazy things about her during COVID, during Black Lives Matter, and God revealed the truth. So, what's to say? And I'm just playing devil's advocate here. What's to say if what she's seen is true? That Charlie Kirk was being blackmailed. There was an intensive, meeting in the Hamptons, an intervention to try to persuade Charlie Kirk to have a different perspective in Israel. We don't know. I was not in that meeting. Candace Owens was not in that meeting in the Hamptons. She's going by what Charlie Kirk probably texted her. Again, we don't know those text messages unless she's willing to reveal them herself. It's a possibility because there's nothing stopping Candace Owens. And I have to say, she lost her friend. She witnessed her friend being assassinated. She's going through all these different emotions and grief. A lot of people deal with grief differently. And she wants justice. She wants justice, and she wants people who are saying all these stuff about Charlie Kirk to back the F up. Okay? You're not going to take his seat. You're not going to do all that stuff. She's just trying to make it clear and known to those persons. Now, I'm going to show you videos of Candace Owens and what she said in her own words. So take a listen.
I told you guys that Charlie was going through a spiritual transformation at the end, and all of the usual suspects were really angry that I hinted towards that. What do you mean? You're not allowed to say that. They were attacking me, trying to make me fearful, to speak out and speak about the things that I know. I'm not feeling very fearful right now. I am, like I said, very angry. And I found, Charlie's favorite portion of the song. I'll show you the text between him and I, because this feels very relevant right now. This is, again, lyrics directly from the song Power, but I just needed time alone with my own thoughts, got treasures in my mind, but couldn't open up my own vault. My childlike creativity, purity, and honesty is honestly being crowded by these grown thoughts. Reality is catching up with me. Taking my inner child, I'm fighting for custody with these responsibilities that they entrusted me. That's a moment where he is really speaking about how hard it is. Like when you're saying, no, this is what I believe. And they say, you're not allowed to believe that. You feel like you are fighting for custody of yourself. And I want to be very clear that I believe, in fact, I know that towards the end, Charlie was fighting for custody of himself. I want to say that. I want to say that plainly. And there are lies that are being told, and they need to be slapped down right now.
And you know what I could say? Don't lie. Don't lie about something about this man that got assassinated and got killed if it's not true. And that's basically what she's saying. You know what I mean? You're saying all these things that's not true and that's not factual, and that's what's really pissing Candace Owens off big time. Because according to her, she's saying people are lying about Charlie Kirk. This is what Charlie Kirk wants, and she's saying that is so farther from the truth. Show you another video of Candace Owens, and she's talking about. Let me get my notes. I'm so sorry, you guys. Oh, there it is. The next video, she's talking about BB, how he did an interview, and how and I have to agree with her. I thought it was very weird for him to make a statement before. Let me just put this down. When there's a war going on, and you would think that you would try to take care of this war and try to stop this war, but he made a speech, and not a speech, but he did a talk about, you know, Charlie Kirk, how wonderful man he was, and how he was supportive of Israel, and how Charlie Kirk wrote a letter, and then BB just only read like two sentences of the letter that Charlie Kirk wrote to him. And you know, I have to agree with Candace Owens. Like, if you're going to do that, show it to the world. Let's see what Charlie Kirk said. Let's see what he wrote to you. I think that's fair. If you're going to put it out there and you're only reading two sentences, I think that you should put the whole letter out so the whole world can see. So I think that's a not great thing, but that's I think that's a legitimate thing to ask BB, which Candace Owens did. She asked him, put it out there, let the whole world read Charlie Kirk letter that he wrote to you. So here we go. This is the next video.
Bibi Netanyahu, in that phone call, which took place was a couple of weeks ago before Charlie lost his life. Charlie was in the Hamptons. He had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman, because Charlie's thoughts, Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote-unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset, and threats were made. He was asked to dispute this narrative. Max Blumenthal went out to him today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, I have receipts I can show you, and he did not provide the receipts. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called, and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment. Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at. And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding. Charlie denied, and what Bibi didn't include there, he declined to go to Israel for, I would describe this as like, you know, re-education camp. You know, we've seen it. You made an uh-oh, but we can help you. Another person that was there, and I am not surprised this person was there if you've been listening to my show, Seth Dillon. I said, any comment on this one, Seth? He didn't answer last night. This morning I said, need a comment ASAP, please. He didn't answer. Then I followed that up and I said, trying again here, you were present when Ackman lost his mind on Charlie and when Bibi invited him to Israel and Charlie refused. Text messages immediately following this meeting are circulating. I find Ackman's statement, as though the meeting was somehow cordial, to be incredibly disturbing. Are you at all disturbed by that tweet? Do you feel, as I do, that this tweet significantly betrays the defined purpose and mood of his, and I presume your, final meeting with Charlie Kirk? ? He was unable to speak to me, but he did place some frantic calls to Turning Point USA. Yeah. You see, I went out to Seth, but I also went out to two other people who were at this meeting, and nobody is willing to go on record. They're all messaging each other, trying to figure out a coordinated response to say that, no, this was all quite cordial, but no one wants to go on record and describe it as cordial because they know someone's leaking, because someone's got a guilty conscience about what happened at the Hamptons.
So, what's your thoughts? You know what I mean? A lot of people go to say, to me, how does Candace Owens know all this? You know what I mean? Yes, I know she has connections, she knows people, but some people saying that she's doing this to boast, not boast, but boost her ratings and stuff like that. The woman already have enough ratings. Okay, she has so many viewers. It's not even about that. It's about justice, and it's about truth, and it's about the lies that it's spilling on Charlie Kirk, according to Candace Owens. Now, I want to know your thoughts and your reactions of Candace Owens reaching out to Seth Dillon and sending him a text, but he didn't respond. Is it because he's guilty, or he, like Candace Owens say, they're just trying to get their story straight so they can all match, they can co-align to what Bill Ackman is saying and other people, but somebody in that turning point is going to spill the beans, like Candace Owens said. Someone is going to tell the truth, and it doesn't matter how many times or how many ways you try to hide things and stuff like that. The truth always comes out because the truth always wins, and it's just crazy. And then a lot of people say that Candace Owens is losing her mind, and she should have been saying all this stuff. She should have waited. But listen, when, like I said, and I'm going to keep saying this until I'm a broken record, everyone deals with death differently, okay? We don't know what transpired between her and Charlie's wife. She could have easily asked Charlie's wife, Mrs. Erica Kirk, permission for her to do this, and she did. We don't know. You know what I mean? We don't know. But I just don't think that, Candace Owens would just say all this stuff. And she knew if she did that would hurt Charlie Kirk's wife. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm not in Erica's head, but I know that she wants justice for her husband. Even though they caught the perpetrator, but she wants things to be exposed. And again, I'm not in her head. I'm not trying to put words in her mouth. But I would think that Candace Owens would be doing the right thing by asking the wife first. So we can't make speculations and say, well, how can Candace Owens do this without talking to the wife first? We don't know if she spoke to the wife. She probably have. And then Mrs. Erica Kirk gave Candace Owens her full blessing. Do what you need to do. Expose them all. And that's what probably Candace Owens is doing. And she's not telling you guys that, but that's what I believe is, that's what I'm thinking that happened. You know what I mean? Because she doesn't seem like the type of woman just to hurt someone, especially a woman that's grieving, that lost her best friend, her husband, the father of her two children. You know what I mean? I don't think Candace Owens is that cruel to do that. And people think that she is, that it's all about her. And it's not about her. This woman lost her friend that she was very, very close to. Next video, Candace talked more about Charlie Kirk being blackmailed from Bill Ackman. So take a listen to this. Oh no, this is the fifth one. I'm sorry, the fourth one. This one, she's not holding back. Candace Owens not playing. That woman is on fire. You don't want to be an enemy of her. Because let me just say this before I continue with this video. Okay, that woman is a child of God. The only person she fears is her Heavenly Father. And that's how we all should feel. I'm not fearful for anything. I'm only fearful of God. When you come for her, she has the full armor, baby. Okay? So don't worry about her. Pray for her, obviously. Pray for her family. But you can't stop this woman, okay? Because she's on a vengeance, okay? She's seeking vengeance for her friend. Now, is it the right way? No. As Christians and being Catholic, no. And she even said it in her podcast. She's working on it. She's praying. She's talking to her priest. She went to a confession. It's difficult. It's hard, especially when you lost someone that a dear friend to you, and that mattered to like that. You know what I mean? That can mess with anyone. It sure messed me up. But again, it's not about me. But what I'm saying is, she's not holding anything back. You cannot stop this woman, okay? She will get answers, whether it kills her or not, okay? She will get answers, and she will get to the bottom of this. Because this is Candace Owens we're talking about. Okay, this is the last video, you guys.
And there will be no narrative that I will not prod when it comes to figuring out why people are lying about the state that Charlie was in when it came to the topic of Israel. Again, you can examine Charlie in his own words. He was starting to talk about topics that you're not really allowed to talk about when you take money and big checks are being written. That pressure was increasing every single day. In fact, he was telling the truth even about Jeffrey Epstein. I do want to say this. It's important because I am angry. I will obviously, I pray to move on from this phase, but it's a fire in my belly right now.
That's it.
To those of you who think that you are going to replace Charlie Kirk, okay, kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're going to follow this individual, okay? I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA. You put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company, and you try to tell us to follow that individual, I will be an enemy of you. There will be nothing that can stop me.
That's it.
Okay? And I want you guys to say, this is not a threat, this is a promise. There will be nothing that can stop me. I will release every single text message. So to those of you who are trying that, I'm seeing the messages, I am telling you to back off right now. Like right now, don't do it, okay? Don't you think about it. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you were that were exerting pressure. Don't you pretend to be noble now and say nice things about Charlie Kirk and think you're going to slide into his chair, okay? Over my dead body, which I'm sure can be arranged.
Over her dead body, you guys. Okay? Over her dead body. She's not messing around. She is not messing around. This woman means business, okay? So she's telling these people, the rest of them, whoever they are, back the F up. Know your role and stop doing what you're doing. Because apparently she knows more than she's telling, but she will release everything. And I have to say, I kind of believe her because she's not the one to just release text messages, private text messages. But she's willing to do that at all costs, okay? All costs. And listen, I will let you know more about this, but let me know your thoughts about the whole thing and the whole podcast and about Candace Owens. You know, did she went too far? Is she going into a rabbit hole? Is this a conspiracy theory? Shouldn't she waited until Charlie Kirk was buried? What are your thoughts? You know, I can give you my perspective, and like I said, everyone deals with grief differently, and she just seeking out the truth, and she just basically saying she's done with the fakeness, the phoniness. You know what I mean? Obviously, she knows the people who are really, truly, and sincere love Charlie Kirk and who was been there with him. And she didn't like the bullshit that people were saying, especially these two gentlemen and other people that, Charlie Kirk was a great guy. He was this and that. When you basically were blackmailing him, you was trying to persuade him to be with to be more stance with Israel. And then Candace Owens said, "What? No. I spoke to Charlie, according to her. We communicated through text messages, and this is not what Charlie Kirk agreed with. You know what I mean? When opposed other parties said something completely different. And you know how Candace Owens feels? She doesn't like lies. She doesn't like lies. She doesn't like liars. And basically she's saying, tell the truth and back the F up. Because if you don't, I'm going to expose everything. And she will. That's not even a threat. The woman will. Okay? And I'm just going to stay tuned and continue to cover this story. And it's just sad and heartache what happened, what transparent on September 10th. I'm still dealing with it myself. And again, I'm praying for the Kirk's family that they're going through this tough time in their life. And I just hope and pray there's justice. I hope and pray that the FBI tells the truth about the investigation of Charlie Kirk. According to Candace Owens, there's a lot of holes into it. I'm doing my own investigation, my own research, and regarding the investigation with the FBI. And to be honest with you, I really don't trust the FBI. Like I said, there's some good ones and there's some bad ones, and I really don't trust them. Like what happened to Donald Trump and his assassination on July 13th, we still don't know. We still don't know, and I feel like we will never know. And I just feel like with Charlie Kirk assassination, I just hope and pray they tell the truth and they are very factual with all the evidence that's presented to them and the stuff that they're doing, that they're not telling lies. But there's a lot of holes to what the FBI is saying. The governor of the Utah, I don't know his name, so I took down notes and I will talk to you more about that once I gather all my information. But there's a lot of holes in the investigation and a lot of it doesn't make any sense. I believe there was two people involved. There was a decoy. That's just my opinion. Again, I just don't want to go any further until I gather all my information before I talk to you guys about it. But I believe there was another person involved in the shooting. That's just my theory about it, but I will talk to you guys more about it. But let me know what you think and your thoughts about Candace Owens and what she is claiming about Bill Ackman and Seth Dillon. So that's all I have to say to you guys. And again, thank you so much for all the comments and all the love and support of Charlie Kirk and the Ukrainian woman, Irina. May their souls rest in peace. And I pray none of those two didn't suffer and they didn't deserve this. And we need to do better in our society of loving one another and respecting each other's opinions and viewpoints and just getting along, because it's just an ugly, dark world that we're living in. And we have to understand that we are fighting a spiritual warfare. This is evil. We're battling between good and evil here. And, we can't let evil win. We cannot let evil win and continue for this to happen. And I hope and pray after what happened to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, I hope things change. I hope things change for the better and not just like a month and then it's back to the craziness. And it shouldn't be. We should do better. We should, for the sake of our country, the sake of our, great America, because those two people, those human beings, they didn't deserve to be cut, their life to be cut short like that at all, because they had their whole life ahead of them, 23 and 31. It's just sad. But again, thank you so much, all of you, for your love and support. And I really appreciate and love you all. And just remember, just love one another, respect each other. And at the end of the day, we all brothers and sisters. We all brothers and sisters. Take care and God bless.